People make fun of them, right? People either love or hate Crocs, right?
Yeah.
I actually think Crocs are the ultimate jiu-jitsu shoes.
They're easy.
No, you know why? Because you can put them on
Yeah.
and you can kick them off.
Yeah.
But if you wear sandals or flip-flops and you
Yeah.
put them next to the side of the mat, if somebody wants to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
they think, oh, I'm just going to use these flip-flops,
Yeah.
right? But you know what people never steal? They never steal Crocs.
Yeah.
So you can leave your Crocs next to the mat and nobody's ever going to touch them. So the ultimate jiu-jitsu shoes. So you've been traveling a lot. And what, was it like 2 weeks ago you were in the UK? And what have you been doing since then?
Yeah, so I did Polaris in the UK. After that, I went to France for 2 days, like a mini vacation. I went back, stayed home for 2 or 3 days, and then had a seminar in Boston. Went back home again for a day, and then came here to the UAE.
Wow, non-stop.
Yes.
So CJI was at the end of August, and then
Yes.
it like September and October seemed to be pretty quiet. But
Yeah.
you've got a really busy schedule at the moment. You just competed in Polaris, you won the title there. You're competing ADXC here in Abu Dhabi this weekend. In
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, you've got Who's Number One, and you've got other events in the middle as well. I guess the main question I have is, how do you manage all of that? The traveling, the training, the competing? Because surely one or the other is going to take priority, take focus over the other. How do you maintain it all?
Yeah, so as you said, after CJI, I had one super fight at the end of September. So pretty much all of September and October, I was home training, and I think that kind of helped me kind of balance it out because I was training every day, twice a day. So now I could take a small break from training so I can compete and kind of get those opportunities to compete and then come back to training. So I try to, whenever I can, whenever I'm home, to train and not kind of skip trainings. But when I am traveling this much, just small exercises and kind of it comes as a little break, a small vacation as well. So I think it's pretty good to balance both out.
Cool, yeah, because for September and October, it must be great to just be able to go back to the gym without having to think too much about competition. Because
Yeah.
if you're competing all the time, then you're probably training specifically for those events. And maybe it doesn't give you as much time to work on the greater part of your game, the things that you need to develop. Is that what you do in those breaks?
Yeah, so I don't specifically train for each competition because it's different rule sets, different opponents. It's hard to kind of prepare, especially when I'm competing every week. It's kind of hard to switch those around. But I try to continuously improve my game all around, whatever John or Gordon are teaching. But yeah, it is probably a little easier when I'm not competing to just focus on drilling and kind of switching my rounds out so I don't have to kind of train very hard all the time. But either way, it's mostly the training is almost the same.
Did you do a camp for CJI? Was that one event maybe where you did train specifically for a time, or is it always just training generally, working on everything at the same time?
Yeah, we did do a little bit of shorter rounds, so 5 or 8 minute rounds. But other than that, it was pretty much the same thing. My coaches did really help me a lot with specific techniques. But overall, it was almost the same as always.
Jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes.
It doesn't change that much, I guess, whether it's submission only or points. It's
Yes.
the same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much when you come to the competition is when you change your mindset, depending on the rules, but otherwise it's really the same thing.
So you mentioned a word there, mindset, and this is something that I really wanted to ask you about, because you compete a lot. And I was having a conversation about this with somebody earlier, and it's something I talk about with athletes that I work with a lot, that it isn't always the person with the best jiu-jitsu who will win the competition. Because being good at jiu-jitsu and the actual skill of competing, they're two different things, right? We all know guys who are really, really good in the gym, but they can't quite put it together in the competition. And then there are some who are great at both. They're great in the gym, but when they turn up to the competition, they're able to do and execute what they need to do. Now, your mindset, when you go into a competition, you're very focused, right?
Yes.
We always see you come in, and right before the match, you're walking up and down. You appear like you blank everything else out. You're focused on the task. But the main question I have, the first question is, do you get nervous?
Of course, like everyone does have a little bit of nervousness before they get into the match. Like some people have different nerves, but for me, like how when I started jiu-jitsu, it was a lot. Like I had a lot of nerves. Like I was 8 years old, 9 when I started competing, and I was super nervous for my first competition. I cried before and after the match, even though I won that first match.
Just all those emotions?
Yes.
Right.
But like as like time went on, I competed more often, and right now it's like it's not nerves, it's just excitement to get on the mat and like get going as soon as possible, really. So it's kind of like maybe like nerves that not nervous nerves, but excitement to like just get on the mats.
So recognizing that what your body is feeling is actually positive and not negative, because the nerves that you feel, it's your body telling you that you're ready for the competition.
Yes.
It's not your body telling you, oh, this is a bad place to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, it's fight or flight.
Yes.
And they call it arousal. And it's recognizing those physical symptoms of fear and nerves, and actually recognizing that, no, this isn't negative. This is telling me that I'm ready to compete, right?
Yeah, it's really like how it used to be like, oh, I hope my match gets moved to a later time. But now it's like, I want it to be like as soon as possible, really. It's like just excited to get on the mats.
Interesting. Yeah, because attitude and the psychological part of competing is so important. And the best competitors, they always have an incredible mindset to competing.
Yeah.
Now, John famously has said that he doesn't believe in sports psychology, that he feels that it's like tricks, and that the people who try to pass these things, they're kind of a little bit fraudulent, and that true confidence comes from knowing and truly believing that your skill is better than your opponent. But I'm wondering, when you go into the match, like what are you thinking? What is going through your head the moments before you step onto the mat to compete?
Yeah, it's pretty much like focusing on myself, like not worrying about what my opponent's doing, where she is or anything. Just like focusing on the moment and just going like telling myself that I can win, and kind of going through just like some things that could happen in a match or anything, and just like focusing and like telling myself that I could win.
So you've competed in all kinds of events. You compete on local tournaments, you compete on small super fights. And then, of course, you were part of the biggest prize in women's grappling history.
Yeah.
You were left as the champion from CJI. I'm wondering if the event itself, does that ever affect how you feel? And like, let's talk about specifically CJI. Did you feel any more nerves going into that because you were fighting with 8,000 people, or knowing that there was $100,000? Did you ever feel like, oh, this is bigger than a small tournament? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it gets even more exciting for me. Like even John has said that he noticed when I go like in front of big crowds, that he notices that my confidence goes up even higher. So really, like the bigger the competition, the more motivation I have, and the more happy I am to be there.
And that's when we see your best performances, right?
Yes.
When we see you at like ADXC, or we see you at CJI, it's I guess that extra boost. We see the best version of Helena.
Yes, definitely enjoy competing in front of big crowds and like big events, pretty much.
There are so many events, and you don't seem particularly selective. Like you really seem to just want to compete as much as possible, whether it's a huge super fight, whether it's Polaris, a big stage like Europe's biggest grappling event, whether it's ADXC super fight, whether it's CJI, or whether it's local tournaments, that you just want to compete as much as possible.
Yeah, I really want to like collect this experience as much as I can. I want to test myself in different rule sets, so like I can get different opponents, different weight divisions, so that I can just like have as many experiences as possible, and get my name out there as much as I can.
Well, your name is definitely out there. I don't think there's anybody in the jiu-jitsu world who doesn't know who you are at this point, because you've won pretty much everything there is to win. Because some people, let's say in their career, they get to a certain point and they become quite selective. They're
Yes.
almost like, well, I'm not going to risk my reputation. I'm not going to risk everything I've worked towards by competing on a smaller event and possibly losing, and then my career might suffer. You don't seem to have that concern.
Yeah, for me, it's like, if I get an offer, I almost always accept it because, it's, even if a competition is small, you don't know how much they could grow out to, be successful as well. So, and it's really a different audience from every different competition, like different city, different country. So I think it's really good to compete as often as you can.
So I've got a question about competition. How much trouble do you have in finding opponents who are willing to go against you?
Yeah, it just depends, I guess, on the event, but a lot of times you do have to go through multiple girls so that they can get an opponent. I am open to like going like 145, 155, sometimes other weight divisions, so that we can kind of find a match, but it is sometimes difficult for them to get a match.
Yeah, because I imagine if they're trying to find an opponent for you, those guys are probably thinking, oh man, that's a tough challenge. I maybe I need more time to prepare. I'll take the match, but it has to be after 2 months of training or something.
Yes.
Do you hear this a lot, or?
Yeah, it has happened often, I'd say, that they want to move the match to a later date or don't accept the match at the moment. But it's really fine with me. I am thankful to all the girls that do accept the matches and that are open to fighting me. So.
And you'll take on anybody. You don't seem to have a problem with that, right?
Yeah, really, like, especially in my weight division, I'm like really okay to fight anyone.
So this might seem like a strange question. I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but it's going somewhere. Do you remember the last time that you lost a jiu-jitsu match? When was it?
Yeah, it was in July in the
Okay.
gi at BJJ Stars.
Right.
Yes.
So it's at a point in your career now where people expect you to win, right? And it's almost more surprising if you were to lose rather than to leave the champion. It's not a question of will she win, it's going to be how does she win? Will it be submission? Will it be decision? Right? But when you have those moments where, let's say, you do end up losing a match, how do you deal with that? Because you get so used to winning and that sensation of leaving having won. How do you feel after not having things not going your way?
Yeah, so that event particularly in July, it was in the gi. So my last two losses have been in the gi. So for those, I'd say like it was because I didn't train as much in the gi and I only went back to it in January. So I didn't take them as hard. I knew that, for a brown belt, black belt level, it is a lot higher and that I would need more experience in the gi. But overall in no-gi and, I just go back to the gym, whether it's a win or a loss. I always learn something from a match and just go back to the gym and like focus on the next.
I guess that's key, right? It's
Yes.
like identifying what happened in that match as to why you lost and then being able to work on it. Because there's a famous phrase that we hear a lot in jiu-jitsu that you win or you learn.
Yeah.
And that every loss is an opportunity to identify what went wrong in your game and then work on that later. Is that
Yes.
something you do?
Yeah, definitely. It is like something like I go back and I rewatch my matches, and even sometimes I go back and I watch matches from a year ago or 2 years ago, and I kind of identify what I did wrong in those matches before and how I have improved on them now. So it's definitely a good thing to do, to rewatch.
That's interesting. So you study your own matches.
Yes.
Interesting. And if you were to look back at yourself, let's say from ADCC 2024 or something like that, how would you compare yourself now to where you were back then?
Yeah, I definitely think I've improved like tremendously between that 1 year. And overall, and like both my mentality and like standing in the ground. Overall, like finishing submissions, passing, I have improved a lot on my top game, but than what it was in the past year or 2 years before. So pretty much overall, I feel a lot better than I did last year.
Do you think that this Helena could beat Helena from a year ago?
Definitely, yeah. I was like rewatch my matches and just like, ooh, that was not very good.
So that is interesting. You mentioned the top game and the passing because for somebody like us, and many other people who have been following you for so long, we always would see you pull guard, and we would always see you kind of play from the guard position and looking for attacks, and you still do that. But we definitely have seen you playing a lot more top game over the last couple of months, and especially the last year. So you can see the difference in your game. And I guess if you can share something with us that maybe isn't revealing too much, I mean, like, what are the next big developments that you want to make so that you become a better grappler all around?
Yeah, so definitely this past year I have been working a lot on my top game, and Gordon and John have really been helping me like improve that. But definitely my passing has gotten a lot better, and my pressure overall in the mount, finishing from the mount in the back. But definitely I wanted to work on my standing takedowns as well. So pretty much like after I finalize or improve as much as I can in the passing, I also want to work on those takedowns.
I'm going to see you shoot some double legs and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be great. You have to evolve as a grappler, right?
Yes.
You can't just do the same thing over and over, and people will eventually catch up to that, right?
Yes. I always want to like improve in any aspect of my game so I could be the best at any position that I could get in. So definitely like...
So I would have to imagine then that with the amount of super fights, the amount of tournaments, the amount of competitions that you do, and of course having won the $100,000 at CJI, that you're probably the best paid and the most winningest female grappler in the sport right now. Is that a motivation for you at all? The professional side of being an athlete? Because some people compete because they want the world to know their name. Some people compete because it's the only thing that they can do. They don't have any option. They have to make money by competing. I would like to know kind of like where you stand on that. Like, what is the greatest motivation for you when you compete?
Yeah, so ever since I really started jiu-jitsu, like whenever someone asks me why I do it or why I competed, I always like respond because it's fun for me. So like it's like something that I found that I really love, and it's my favorite thing to do. So whether it's like earning money or winning or just doing it to train, it's just like I really enjoy it. And of course, the money and the winning adds motivation, but like really the first thing that motivates me is because it's really fun for me.
You still enjoy it then?
Yes.
Because sometimes you find something that you love, but then when it becomes your job, sometimes it's not always as fun, but you're still able to enjoy it.
Yes, and I still like, I really enjoy going to training every day. It's like never something that my parents made me do or I'm forced by someone. It's something that really comes inside for me and that I really enjoy to do.
Actually, I heard that it was quite the opposite. That you used to ask them and make them take you, right?
Yes.
So you always had the support, but it was your choice. It was your decision.
Yes, and I did used to force my parents to bring me to training every day.
There are some stories of kids in jiu-jitsu, and we've seen this many times, right? That they have the pushy parents, the parents who kind of live through their kids. Maybe they never train jiu-jitsu, but it's almost like they see some talent in their kid and they put everything and then they push the kid too hard and the kid begins to resent it.
Yes.
But you never had any of that.
No, I have had maybe times where I was less motivated to train, but those were like short periods of time, like maybe a day or a week, never like for a long time that I really didn't want to train. So it was just like always something that I really like to do.
Was there any other moment during the last, let's say, 10, 11 years that you've been training jiu-jitsu that you had a moment where you thought, no, I want to do something else. I don't want to just go 100% on jiu-jitsu. Or have you been focused that whole time?
Not quite. I have tried other sports before jiu-jitsu. I tried a bunch of things. I've been doing sports since I was 3 years old. My parents put me in different stuff, and I kind of did all those sports for a short time, but I never really liked anything to stick with it. But when I found jiu-jitsu at age 8, it was really the thing for me, and after that I never really thought about trying anything else.
Now, do you have to ever take time off from jiu-jitsu? And I'm not saying take a day or a week off training, because it seems that you're in the gym as much as you can possibly be, but do you have anything that just gives yourself a little break from jiu-jitsu so that it's not 24/7, something that you relax with?
Yeah, so I train Monday to Friday, twice a day, and then Saturday and Sunday I actually don't train jiu-jitsu. I teach in the morning that I started in August. I teach the 9:30 a.m. at Kingsway, and after that I go do some weightlifting and cardio, so that I'm still kind of active, but it's like a different thing from jiu-jitsu. So I get Saturday and Sunday to kind of take a break off from jiu-jitsu and do something else for activity.
And do you have any kind of hobbies or something you can keep yourself occupied with outside of jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I really enjoy baking. So I bake for my teammates, my neighbors, um, anyone that is kind of close to me. And I also enjoy graphic design, reading, and I also have 2 cats and 2 birds. So they're also part of it. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to bake?
Probably chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
Yeah.
those sound good.
And holiday cookies. So like for every holiday, I bring cookies to my teammates.
So for Thanksgiving and Christmas, the guys in the gym are going to be spoiled.
Yes.
That's really cool. And then you mentioned graphic design.
Yes.
So obviously you're very well known for your, very colorful outfits when you compete. Do you have any contribution to the outfits and stuff that you wear? Do you help design them at all? Or?
Yeah, so it's right now I'm working with Atami. I've been sponsored by them for almost a year, and they're really great. We've been working like on making designs together this past year. So definitely, I have some ideas, they have some ideas, and we kind of work together on that so that we can make kind of outfits that different designs and everything.
So like a signature line, Jiu-Jitsu girl kind of?
Yes, yeah. Actually, they released in August my own line that has currently 6 outfits over there. So
Great. Are they popular?
yeah, it's been pretty good sales, especially the leopard one. So yeah, it's really great so far.
People in jiu-jitsu seem to like the leopard print, right?
Yes.
Guys and girls.
Yeah.
It's popular.
Yes.
I wonder why that is.
It is a good design. I like animal prints, so.
And about Tatami, actually, I mean, I've known those guys for a very long time, and they do so much in the sport. They sponsor so many athletes. But as a professional athlete, to train, to compete, you're maybe an exception because you've done financially quite well as a competitor. And of course, you have the support of your parents. You don't have to have a job, But you seem to be doing quite well in the different ways to make money as an athlete, right? You do seminars, you have sponsorship. Do you have instructionals as well?
Yes.
So what kind of things do you work with just outside of purely being a competitor?
Yeah, so I started instructionals when I was around 15. I think I also started seminars at that time. So those are definitely like great ways to like make extra money outside of competing. And then also like running my Instagram, I'm able to get some sponsored ads as well. So from sponsorships or just like one-time posts. So those are like also like a great way through social media to earn money.
Of course, everybody knows the support that you have from your parents and helping them guide your career and stuff. But not everybody has that. Not everybody has that support. Not everybody has, let's say, like a manager or somebody who can help navigate the business side of jiu-jitsu. A lot of people are good at jiu-jitsu, but they don't understand how to sort of work the commercial side of things. But you've done that for a very long time. I guess, is there any advice that you could pass to other jiu-jitsu competitors or people in the sport about how they could, maximize the commercial side of jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, it's like all about like finding your own brand. So like anything that you can do or wear, something that people can identify you as. So like something that will make you stick out from the rest. And then also like getting out there, so like competing as much as you can. Also posting on social media a few times a week so that you reach different audiences and everything. And just like to always like be doing something. So whether it's a competition, social media, and like standing out in some way.
So having a unique and strong brand.
Yes.
You mentioned there about sort of the social media and self-promotion is really important, and the consistency as well is really important, right? Those 3 things are probably the most important, you think?
Yeah, in my opinion, that's what pretty much helped me, grow this much.
And what do you think is in the future? Because I look at you and I see somebody so young who's already done so well in jiu-jitsu. You know, you've competed so much and you've won so many important titles. There are more to win, of course, but I'm thinking long term. Some athletes, say Gordon's a great example, you know, that he hit certain points in his career, and by 30 years of age, he's pretty much retired from the sports, you know, he's focused on different things. Do you have a short term or a mid term or a long term plan about what it is you want to achieve, when you want to achieve it by, and then possibly what the next phase after purely being a competitive athlete might look like?
Yeah, so definitely like in the near future, like as long as I can to keep competing and winning as many titles as I can. And then, you know, depending on by when I decide to stop competing, like it's all going to be like how I feel and how my body feels. But like after that, like definitely opening my own gym, you know, continuing to do seminars and instructionals and, you know, go from there and just become a coach.
You enjoy coaching?
Yeah, I really do. Especially like now that I'm teaching at the gym, it's really fun, you know, to coach particular people that come every day. And then also like meeting people at my seminars, I really enjoy.
And you mentioned about winning more titles. Are there particular titles that you maybe haven't won yet, or that you want to win again? What titles are the ones that would mean the most to you?
Yeah, so definitely these big events. Like I hold the 145 title at who's number one, so defend that one, and then maybe win in another weight division. Also Polaris, I hold two belts, so keep defending those. And then any other titles that could come up, I will be making my one championship debut in January. So maybe in the future, go for a one championship title and pretty much anything else.
And ADCC, IBJJF,
Yes.
anything like that as well?
Yeah, those as well. Definitely, I would love to be like an ADCC champion, and also IBJJF, like win worlds and pans at the black belt level. So definitely those as well.
Now you compete so much and you compete in everything. And one event that we haven't mentioned yet is UFC BJJ. Now you have competed on the Fight Pass Invitational in the past, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So with UFC BJJ coming along now, is that something that you look at and you think, well, I would like to be the champion of that too?
Yeah, so currently with the one championship contract, there's like a certain a number of other competitions that I could do. So currently I couldn't do UFC BJJ, but maybe in the later future it might be something interesting to do as well.
You want to take them all, right? At some point or another, you kind of want to take them all.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing that I was talking about with some of the other people who work in the industry is that there are so many different titles in jiu-jitsu. There are so many different organizations. And there really is a case for, if you are the ADCC champion, if you are the Who's Number One champion, the Polaris champion, one champion, if you're able to take, or BJJ Stars as well, if you're able to take the belts in all those different divisions, then there really is no argument that you can be called the best in the world. Is that something that you also have in mind? Is that something that you want to establish, without any argument, that you are the best in the world?
Yeah, definitely. I really want to be the best in the world in any weight class, to have all the titles. And then, it's really like undeniable, like who is the best in the world when they have so many titles.
Yeah, because there's always arguments about pound for pound, and those discussions are often very subjective because you're trying to compare one event against another where the rules are different.
Yes.
And so on. But if you can win enough across all those different events, and there's no argument at all,
Yes.
right? So I guess some of the final things I really would like to get into actually is about the relationship that you have with your coaches, with John, with Gordon. I kind of would like to know about what it is that they do on a day-to-day basis that helps you so much to become who you are.
Yeah, with John, he is definitely like super helpful in the gym, like helping me always like adding things when we're drilling. He's always like kind of pushing me to do as well as possible, like telling me to go faster, to help me so I can like do the move almost perfectly. And with Gordon, like he has helped a lot with my mindset of how to approach in matches. and also technically as well. But each of them kind of brings some things to help me, and it has really been amazing training under them for the past 2 years.
Is there anybody else that maybe we don't hear about who also contributes in some way to your development?
Yeah, definitely all my teammates, like training with them, they all have different styles. So they always help me out in the gym. And they were like really great partners. And, as well as my parents on the other side, like to be supportive and always taking me to training and traveling with me always.
What's next? Obviously we know you have multiple competitions coming up, but I guess what can we expect to see from the future from Helena?
Yeah, so like in the more near future, of course, I have the ADXC superfight this weekend. After that, I have a match in Michigan that is tug trials for another title there. So it's a local event, and then defending my who's number one belt. One championship debut in January, and any other offers that I may get.
So it's just line up the competitions and just
Yes.
keep going right through till ADCC next year?
Yes.
Really? Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's always great to see you. Thanks as well to the parents for all the help as well. And I hope you enjoyed the podcast, Unknown Precious. Make sure that you like, subscribe on YouTube, give us a rating, or follow us if you're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see you again next time.